Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into a really captivating idea, the egg theory. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to get this up front. This isn't like one single defined theory.
Right, not at all. It's more like a web of connected ideas,
Yeah.
about origins, existence.
Exactly. Ideas that pop up in philosophy, cosmology, even ancient myths.
That's the fascinating part. So our mission today really is to explore these different egg theories using the materials you shared.
Got to kind of get under the shell, so to speak.
Hey, right. We want to understand their core ideas, see the links, and figure out what this enduring egg symbol tells us about those big human questions.
So we'll be looking at philosophy, mythology, and maybe even some science angles.
Absolutely. Drawing right from the sources we have.
Okay, let's crack into it then, starting with maybe the more modern philosophical take, the one that got a lot of buzz from Andy Weir's story, the egg.
Ah, yes. The egg. A very impactful short story.
So for anyone who hasn't read it, the basic idea is, well, it's pretty mind-bending. You die, and you're told you'll be reincarnated.
But here's the twist.
The massive twist. You're not just going to be another person. You've actually been every person.
Everyone who has ever lived or ever will live.
Yeah, like you were Abraham Lincoln, you were Adolf Hitler, you were, or will be, everyone, Jesus included.
Oh.
Wow.
The scope is just immense, isn't it? It's not separate lives in a row, but one single soul experiencing all of human existence.
Right. And the story suggests the whole universe is basically this cosmic egg.
Uh-huh. Created specifically for this soul, which is, well, us, all of us, to grow up, to mature through all these experiences.
Exactly. By living every single life, every perspective, the soul evolves. And the ultimate goal is, what? Godhood.
Something like that. Becoming a being of immense understanding and empathy, ready to perhaps create its own universe or join others who've completed the cycle.
But the key message for me, anyway, is that interconnectedness.
Definitely. That line from the story.
Oh, yeah. Every time you victimize someone,
Yeah.
you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. That just hits hard.
It reframes everything, really. Your actions ripple out because ultimately they ripple back to you.
So how does this connect to bigger philosophical concepts? You mentioned monism.
Yes, it strongly resonates with monism, the idea that behind all the apparent diversity, there's just one fundamental reality. Here, it's one universal consciousness experiencing itself through all of us.
Okay.
And while it's not explicit, you could see a hint of maybe panpsychism, the idea that consciousness isn't just human, but maybe fundamental to reality itself.
Ah, like that spark of divine consciousness mentioned in the story.
Precisely. It suggests consciousness isn't just an accident of biology, but something more basic.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one consciousness in billions of bodies?
It's a lot to wrap your head around. But the ethical side is really compelling, isn't it?
How so?
Well, if you were everyone else, treating others well isn't just altruism.
It's self-preservation, in a way, or self-care on a cosmic scale.
Exactly. It grounds morality in this fundamental unity, not just rules or dogma. It changes the why of being good.
It really does. It provides a rationale for compassion based on identity, not just sympathy. How different would the world be if everyone truly felt that?
Makes you wonder. Okay, so that's the modern philosophical angle rooted in Weir's story. But this whole egg idea, it's much older, right?
Oh, much, much older. This cosmic egg motif is ancient, appearing in creation myths all over the world, long before modern philosophy.
So these myths often see the egg as like the absolute beginning.
Often, yes. The very first thing, the source from which the universe, or maybe the gods themselves, emerged.
Okay, give me some examples. Where do we see this?
Well, take ancient Egypt. In the Hermopolitan tradition, you have these 8 primordial gods, the Ogdoad, in the chaotic waters.
Right.
And they bring forth a cosmic egg. From this egg hatches Ra, the sun god.
Ah, so the egg brings light and order.
Exactly. Light emerging from the primordial potential contained within the egg.
Okay, what about somewhere else? India.
Hinduism has the concept of the Brahmanda, literally the cosmic egg. It's said to contain the entire universe within it.
Everything. Planets, stars, all of it.
Everything. And the creator god Brahma is often linked to it, sometimes shown emerging from it to begin the act of creation.
And Hinduism has that cyclical view of time, doesn't it? Does the egg fit into that?
It does. The Brahmana can represent the beginning of a cosmic cycle, but also holds the potential for its end and rebirth. Beginnings and endings wrapped together.
Interesting. Okay, let's jump geographically. China.
In Chinese mythology, there's the story of Pengu. He existed inside a cosmic egg for something like 18,000 years.
Wow, that's a long incubation.
Right. And inside, heaven and earth were all mixed together, pure chaos. Then the egg cracks open.
And Pangu emerges.
He does. And he separates yin and yang, pushing the sky up, pressing the earth down.
So he creates the structure of the world.
Yes, and then, after his death, his body parts actually become parts of the world. Mountains, rivers, wind, sun, moon. Creation from within the egg, then from the being that came from the egg.
That's quite different creation through, like, sacrifice or transformation after hatching.
It is. And then you have, say, Finland with the Kalevala epic.
Okay.
There, a duck, a pochard, lays eggs on the knee of the air goddess Ilmatar, but the eggs fall and break.
Oh, an accident.
Seems like it, but a creative one. The broken pieces become the world. The upper shell is the sky, the lower is the earth.
The yolk, the sun, the white, the moon, something like that.
Exactly. And the little fragments become stars and clouds, creation from fragmentation.
So many variations. You mentioned Greek Orphic traditions, too, and Dogon mythology.
Yes, the Orphic tradition has a cosmic egg linked to the primordial god Phanes. The Dogon people of Mali envision their creator god Amma as an egg. Even the ancient Pelasgians in Greece had a myth about the goddess May laying the cosmic egg.
It's just, everywhere it really makes you wonder why the egg.
That's the key question, isn't it? What's the core symbolism here?
What do you think? Potential.
Potentiality seems central, absolutely. The egg holds everything before it becomes real. You know, it's unmanifested creation.
And the hatching is the moment it all kicks off.
Right, the shift from potential to actual. And often, like with the Finnish myth, the parts of the egg mirror the parts of the cosmos. It's order emerging from this unified primordial state.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From ancient myths to modern science. Cosmology. Does this egg idea show up there at all? Even as, like, an analogy?
It does, surprisingly often, though usually as an analogy, it's important to stress that.
Okay.
Some early universe models talked about a quantum egg. The idea was the universe might have started from a tiny quantum fluctuation in some pre-existing vacuum state.
A fluctuation that acted like an egg.
Sort of. This incredibly dense, energetic starting point is sometimes likened to a quantum egg that then, expanded rapidly. Inflation.
And didn't Georges Lemaitre, one of the Big Bang pioneers, have a similar idea?
He did back in the 30s. He called it the primeval atom, or sometimes the original nugget, this incredibly dense point containing everything whose decay started the expansion. Again, that idea of a contained beginning.
Right. And I think I read something about dimensions, like the universe starting as a one-dimensional egg and tunneling into 3 dimensions. Is that a mainstream idea?
That's a more speculative concept. It's quite abstract, but yes, some theoretical models explore the possibility that the very early universe might have existed in a different dimensional state, maybe like a tightly curled up one-dimensional egg.
Then it tunneled, like through a barrier.
Through a quantum process, yes. It tunneled into the 3 spatial dimensions we know. It's one way some physicists try to tackle tricky problems, like the cosmological constant problem, why there's so little energy in empty space compared to theoretical predictions.
Okay, that's pretty mind-bending stuff. But what about the standard Big Bang theory itself? The singularity. Can we see that as a kind of scientific counterpart to the mythological egg? That infinitely dense point?
In a metaphorical sense, yes, you definitely can. The singularity represents that ultimate origin point, all matter and energy compressed together before expansion began. It shares that core concept of a singular beginning.
But it's crucial to remember it's a mathematical concept, right? Not a literal egg.
Absolutely crucial. The egg in cosmology is an analogy, a way to help visualize concepts embedded in very complex mathematics. And the singularity itself is debated. Many physicists think it's a sign our current theories break down at that point.
So there are alternatives, other models.
Oh, yes. There are emergent universe scenarios, some bouncing universe models, things that try to avoid an infinite singularity. Sometimes even these might use cosmic egg language to describe a pre-Big Bang state that wasn't singular. But again, it's symbolic language versus mathematical rigor.
Still, it's striking how this image persists across myths, philosophy, and even scientific analogies. This must be a big topic in, like, comparative mythology or religious studies.
Oh, absolutely. The recurrence of the egg motif is a classic subject. Scholars are fascinated by how it appears in cultures so far apart in time and space.
So what are the main theories for why it's so widespread? Did it spread from one place, or did people just come up with it independently?
That's the big debate. One theory suggests a common origin point, maybe very early in human history, and the idea spread through cultural diffusion. The egg is such a potent symbol of birth and potential, it makes sense it would travel.
Okay.
The other main idea is independent invention. The symbolism of the egg new life emerging from a seemingly inert object is just so universal that different cultures could easily have developed similar creation myths using it without ever contacting each other.
So when scholars compare these myths, what exactly are they looking at?
They look at similarities and differences, who or what comes out of the egg. Is it a god or the whole universe? How does it open? Does a hatch break, get split?
Like we saw with Pangu splitting it versus the finished eggs just breaking.
Precisely. Does one egg create everything, or are there multiple eggs? How are the parts of the egg used? These variations tell us a lot about the specific worldview of each culture.
Are there specific examples of this kind of cross-cultural comparison?
Sure. Scholars have done detailed work comparing the cosmic egg in the Greek Orphic tradition with similar ideas in ancient Indian texts, looking at themes of primordial unity and an undifferentiated divine source.
Okay.
And others trace how the motif was picked up and adapted later, showing up in Roman literature or even medieval Christian writings, where it might be reinterpreted to fit new theological ideas.
So these fields help us see it not as one theory, but a recurring human way of thinking about beginnings.
Exactly. A framework for understanding this persistent theme in our quest for origins.
But like any big idea, the egg theory, in its different forms, must have critics, right? Or alternative explanations.
Absolutely. It's essential to look at those too, starting with Weir's philosophical version.
Yeah, the reincarnation idea.
The main criticism is, well, it's a story. A powerful thought experiment, but there's no empirical evidence for it.
Right.
And philosophically, people raise questions. What does it mean for individual identity if we're all the same soul? Does it undermine personal responsibility? If you've been Hitler and his victims, how does morality even work?
That's a tough one. And it clashes with many traditional religions, doesn't it?
Definitely. Abrahamic religions, for instance, emphasize distinct individual souls created by God, not this universal reincarnation model. Some might also argue the theory feels a bit self-centered, the whole universe existing just for my development.
Okay, and what about the criticisms of the cosmological egg or the singularity?
Well, within science, suggesting a cosmic egg as the absolute start can sometimes be seen as pushing the question back. Okay, where did the egg come from? It risks being circular reasoning.
I see.
And as we mentioned, the singularity itself is problematic in physics. It's where our theories break down, which motivates the search for alternative models, string theory, loop quantum gravity, emergent universe ideas that might describe the beginning without that infinite point.
So it's really important to remember the egg theory, whether philosophical or mythological or even the scientific analogy, is just one way people have tried to explain things.
Absolutely critical. There are countless other creation stories, worldwide creation by divine speech, emergence from water, world parents separating. The variety is huge.
And many other scientific models, too.
Exactly. The Big Bang is the leading model, but interpretations vary, and research into alternatives is ongoing. The egg is just one particularly resonant thread in this tapestry of trying to understand where everything came from.
So after looking at all this, philosophy, myth, science analogies, why do you think this image, the egg, has such enduring appeal? What makes it stick around for millennia?
I think it really comes down to the raw power of its symbolism. It's almost primal. Well, first and foremost, the egg means life. Birth, rebirth. That's almost universal, right? You see an egg, you think of new life emerging.
Sure.
It also screams potentiality. It's the origin point, holding everything that could be, all bundled up.
Like the universe in the Brahmanda.
Exactly. Then there's Weir's angle unity, interconnectedness. We're all developing within this one vessel. And the shell itself, it's a protective boundary, nurturing creation before it bursts forth.
And this symbolism pops up everywhere, not just in creation stories.
Oh, all over. Think about art. Eggs often mean hope, purity, new starts. Think Dali's paintings.
Right.
Alchemy had the philosopher's egg, representing the vessel of transformation. Ancient Greek philosophers apparently used it to explain complex ideas.
And Easter eggs, of course.
Can't forget Easter eggs, symbolizing Christ's resurrection, new life, conquering death. It's just incredibly versatile. It's packed so many profound ideas into one simple, familiar object.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the main things we should take away from exploring the egg theory?
Well, I think the main thing is seeing how this single image, the egg, connects seemingly disparate fields. We've seen it in modern philosophy, exploring universal consciousness.
Like in Weir's story.
Right. We've seen it as a cornerstone in ancient mythologies, explaining the birth of the cosmos and
The
gods.
Egyptian, Hindu, Chinese, Finnish examples.
Exactly. And we've even seen it used as a helpful, if limited, analogy in scientific cosmology when discussing the very early universe.
So across the board, it's this symbol of potential, creation, and sometimes that deep unity.
Precisely. And maybe that's why we keep coming back to it. The enduring fascination probably stems from just how perfectly the egg symbolizes potential, that feeling of a beginning held within something simple. It's a powerful metaphor for the start of everything.
A metaphor that resonates whether you're talking ancient myths or quantum fluctuations.
It really seems to. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. Considering all these perspectives, the potential, the unity, the origin, what single aspect of the egg metaphor do you find most compelling when you think about existence itself?
Something to ponder.